The mother marries a stranger. Julie's reaction shocks everyone. As a result of the fact that his wife Maggie had left him for another man, Jim Miller sat down with his daughter Julie and talked about the day that was going to be ahead of them. Julie is now responsible for a significant number of the responsibilities that her mother used to carry out around the house now. Getting some groceries is something I'm going to do right now. In the future, when I get back to my house, I will clean it. Exactly how do you plan to move forward? Later on today, you may count on me to cut the grass and tidy up the garden. I really appreciate your trust in me. The clutter in my office needs to be cleaned up, and I need to get rid of the things that I do not necessarily need anymore. Jim's attention was diverted by the ringing of Julie's phone, which was a distraction. Indeed, it is once more? Oh my God, she seems to be here. Julie let out a sigh as she picked up the phone and began to speak. Dear mother, what is it that you are looking for? Oh, I was going to bring up the notion of us getting together and I was going to question about it. Considering that your birthday is drawing near, it would be wonderful if you could come and celebrate with us here. This year, you will turn 21 years old, and I still find it hard to believe. I am going to go to a location where we can have lunch together. The home of a creepy individual is not something I will ever visit under any circumstances. I implore you to refrain from calling Tom a creep. Please. Please keep in mind that if we get married, he will become your stepfather. This is a crucial fact to keep in mind. Because of his marriage to you, he will be given the title as a result of the marriage. This does not in any way indicate that I am obligated to communicate with him in any way. If you were to get together for lunch, what time would you prefer to do so? The weekend after the next one was something I was thinking about. Is that anything that you could do? It is going to be Ryan who comes to pick me up this coming weekend. My birthday celebration will take place the following weekend, or even the weekend after that. I will be the one to throw it. Your decision to organize a party came as a complete and utter surprise to me. A number of weeks before to the party, preparations were conducted for the occasion. At the same time that the invitations were being distributed, the vast majority of the folks who had been invited stated that they would be attending. Are you able to extend an invitation to your Aunt Linda? It is a given that both he and Uncle Mike will be present at the event. What a strange occurrence that is. In the talk that we had the day before, she did not bring up any of the issues that I had brought up. Do not be concerned about it, it is likely that I will simply show up in the evening. Okay, don't worry about it. Therefore, pay attention. It is entirely up to you, Mom, to make the chosen option. It is not a good idea for you to bring along a person who acts in a manner that is unacceptable. The fact that I am aware that Dad is a well-mannered individual does not change the fact that it is essential to bear in mind that everyone has their own personal spaces. Don't worry about me, I'll come by myself. That's fine, Mom. My departure is imminent at this point. My list of things to do includes something. Julie was smiling at her father as she passed out, and he smiled at her as she passed out. It is my understanding that you have already told your mother about the location of the party. Never in her life should she be given the opportunity to find things out on her own. I'm going to go with you to the store, Father. To learn more, stay tuned. 3 weeks later, after Julie had given her father a peck on the cheek, she ultimately made the decision to leave the house. Ringtones have been updated with a new one. I hope you are doing well, Mom. Considering that Tom was the one who drove me to my destination, I am sorry that you were forced to call off the celebration. The interior of the house was completely filled with darkness. Is everything fine, Julie? Is everything just fine? The circumstances are in an excellent state. The party that we had planned was held in the banquet room of the Willows Hotel, which was our location of choice. Because of the high number of people who attended, it would have been difficult to have the celebration at the organizer's residence. The fact that it will take place in the hotel was not addressed in any way. You did not inquire about it because you had already stated that you would be present. Okay, let's not bother with this. Would you say that you had a fantastic experience in every way? The presence of all of my family members and friends at the occasion was, without a doubt, a magnificent experience. The question is, where did you go with Ryan over the weekend? Over the course of Saturday evening, we headed to the theater after having a delicious dinner. Sunday was spent engaging in a few tourist activities. At the time Ryan made his proposal to me, we were at the London Eye. Wow, this is absolutely fantastic news. When exactly is the wedding going to take place? Until now, we have no idea. It is our goal to choose a date that will be acceptable to both our family and our friends. That is a shrewd suggestion. I would appreciate it if you could inform me of the time and location of the wedding. In spite of the fact that Tom is waiting for me, I am going to have to depart. Listen, I am sorry. Henceforth, we will maintain communication with one another. What would you say your mother said? Jim inquired with a smirk on his face. Oh, she was upset that I didn't tell her where we were going to have the party. Jim made the statement. As the darkness began to spread throughout the house, she made a request to the cretin to bring her here, but they returned to their house just as the darkness began to spread across the house. A chuckle came from Julie. When I told her that Ryan had proposed to her, she was surprised. I informed her that we were planning to get married, but I did not tell her where we were going to get married. Mr. Jim did a chuckle. She is going to tell herself the truth as soon as she gains knowledge of it. Dad, by that time, it will be too late to do anything about it. Julie's mother did not communicate with her throughout the course of several months, and she did not receive any further messages from her. She had high hopes that her mother would finally comprehend the situation and refrain from calling her. Julie's expectations were disappointed when she received a Christmas card that contained a gift card to her chosen clothing retailer rather than the conventional gift card. Following the receipt of the communication, Julie responded by sending a postcard to her mother that did not include Tom's name. After a time of 3 months, a ringtone that has been heard again is "Hello, Mom. Cheers to you. Hello, my name is Julie. It has come to my attention that you have changed your name, as I am currently perusing your Facebook profile. If I were to assume that you are already married, would that be correct? At this point, it has been 3 weeks since Ryan and I exchanged our vows. The idea that a mother should never choose to miss the wedding day of her own daughter is something that you have brought to my notice, and I am very grateful for that reminder. Even though I am aware that it would be unusual if your father and I were in the same room together, I am confident that you would be able to tolerate it for only 1 day. I am confident that you would be able to tolerate it. Could you kindly let me know if this is an unreasonable request? Regarding the images that were taken on that day, would it be feasible for me to examine them? Evidently, that is not the situation at all. The uploading of these on Facebook will take place in a very short while. In point of fact, I am able to communicate with you regarding one that I possess. Please wait for a moment, thank you. After Julie was successful in locating the photograph, she proceeded to send it. Within the immediate aftermath of the conclusion of the ceremony, exactly where did this take place on the beach? St. Lucia, do you have any idea what happened to the wedding that was supposed to take place on the beach? For the love of God, that must have been a very costly endeavor to undertake. If you are my mother, I have no idea. To me, it seems like it would be deemed impolite to inquire about the amount of money that it cost Dad. Your father paid for the wedding, tell me, who is that standing next to him? Yes, Dad paid for the wedding, the woman who is standing next to him is his girlfriend Cheryl, they have been dating for a number of months. Mr. Jim attempting to suppress their laughter, Ryan and Cheryl were there in the room. Jim even had to leave the room. Where did your father meet Cheryl? Her father met Cheryl when he joined a support group to assist abandoned spouses. Cheryl's husband had done the same thing to her, so they helped each other get through it. Julie overheard her mother murmuring something to the effect that since you were unable to attend the wedding, you are welcome to join the reception that we are arranging for those who were unable to fly to St. Lucia. Julie was able to hear her mother and understand what she was saying. A couple of weeks from now, the reception will be held at the Raton at the hotel. Make sure you don't bring the weirdo with you, please. I will see you at the reception, honey. Yes, good, I will see you there. Are you certain that she will turn up? I instructed her that she should not bring him along as a reaction to Ryan's request that she bring him along. It will be interesting to watch if she pays attention. When Maggie came 2 weeks later, she was joined by Tom, the person she was in a relationship with at the time. The reception was in full swing when she arrived. In her haste to get to her mother, Julie obstructed her way even as she was getting closer. Kindly refrain from bringing the jerk with you, Mom, I have specifically instructed that you do not do so. Do the two of you go at the same time, or does he depart at this moment? It makes no difference to me what happens. Hello, Julie. May I ask if it would be okay if we chatted outside? Following the receipt of a nod, Julie went to join her mother within the foyer of the building. You made it clear that you would like to engage in conversation. I am aware of what is going on. There was a look of defiance on Julie's face while she was speaking. I'm sick and tired of the way you treat Tom the way you do. In addition to being your future stepfather, he is my partner. A little bit of respect may be shown to him. You have to be kidding me. It is impossible for me to show him any respect. I hold him responsible for the destruction of our family, despite the fact that you turned your back on him as soon as you became aware that he had financial resources. She gazed at Julie with a stubborn expression on her face as she stood there and considered her. Julie's gaze was fixated on her mother, who was standing there with her mouth gaping open in shock. You were asked not to bring him with you tonight, and I complied. Your right to take part in whatever I do was taken away from you when you neglected me and brought him along with you when you left Dad and me for him. For some reason, you have lost the right to do so. It was because I didn't want you to be there that I didn't invite you to the wedding, and it was also because I didn't want you to be here. However, I caved into the pressure that was put on me by my grandparents. Mom, you need to get accustomed to it because I don't want to have any interaction with either you or him. Mostly due to the fact that I do not wish to have any interaction with either you or him. Please take note that Julie pointed at Tom in order to provide you with information. His father was able to pay for everything since he won half of the Euro Millions jackpot. This allowed him to take care of everything. The fact that this transpired shortly after the divorce was finalized was a stroke of good luck that could not have been more fortunate. There is a sense of comfort in the fact that he did not have to share with you. Maggie instantly burst into tears and tore herself away from the hotel, with Tom following closely behind her. Tom was following closely behind her. The circumstances are in an excellent state. Jim made a question about it when she returned to the dining hall after their conversation. Yes, it is just fine, Dad. My mother and I just had a conversation about a few basic truths. Therefore, let us go ahead and relax and enjoy ourselves in the evening. Subscribing to our channel is the most effective method for ensuring that your second chaff does not cheat on you without your knowledge. Listen to the next story because the one that follows after this one is nothing in comparison to the one that comes after it. Proceed to listen to the next story. Should you be younger than 18 years old, you should not even contemplate listening to the one that is about to be presented to you.